Welcome to French Blonde Travels. I'm Renee. This morning I am in Florida. I'm on the beach, and the weather's been a bit chilly, I have to say. Nowhere near as cold as it is back home, but it is chilly nonetheless. There is no snow here in Florida, so I'm very happy about that. And we've just been, the last few days have been really quite a bit windy and quite a bit chilly. So we've been hanging in our vans on the beach to just kind of stay out of the wind. But yesterday we went to a park. It was less windy at the park, and then the sun finally came out because the sun hadn't been out for a couple days, which I find unusual for Florida, but it is what it is, and you can't have perfect weather all the time. So yeah, it's been a little bit chilly. Well, I've actually been fine overnight. I know that the temperature does dip down. We're getting, my weather app is telling me a feels like temperature, which I don't recall it ever doing that before when I was in Florida in the past. So yeah, the feels like this morning when I got up was 30. And the only time it bothered me was when I had to go to the bathroom. When I had to come out from underneath my nice warm blankets and go to the bathroom. But, that's just a temporary. You get right back in the covers, you warm right back up. I haven't had to use my heater. My comforter and sheets and my wool blanket and my wool socks have been enough. I haven't used my space heater, not even when I was in Pennsylvania and spent the night in Pennsylvania in that brutal cold weather. That was pretty cold. I think the difference here is that it warms up during the day. It gets, the last couple of days it's been in the 50s. We're hoping to get into the 60s next week. That's what the weather app is saying, low 60s maybe. And that's with the cold snap. So, everyone was saying, sending me messages saying, watch out, the cold snap is coming and blah, blah, blah. And when you live in the Northeast, or in the north of the United States, wintertime is pretty cold. We can get below. Back home, the feels like temperature is -6. I think the regular temperature is like 12. So it's pretty windy and pretty cold back home, but I can do 40s and 50s. I can, that feels like when it dips into the 30s, I don't notice it unless, like I said, I'm getting out of the covers to use the bathroom. So it's all been really, better than home, I have to say. So, and I've got warm clothes. I was smart enough to bring some warm clothes because I knew that I'd be coming through cold country to get here. And I would have to say Pennsylvania was the coldest. And after that, and even like I had my hot hands out and I put them under the blankets, down by my feet, and that kept my feet warm. And when my feet are warm, I'm warm. I don't know if you're like me, but I don't like for my feet to be too hot. And so I did all right with Pennsylvania. And when the morning came, I turned the car on and, blasted the heat and got warmed up. I got probably too hot with the heat on. So, but then it got warmer as, the more I came south. So, I realized that I didn't have my mic on, so I put my mic on. Another thing that I have to keep me warm is I have a heating pad. Um, I I used my heating pad. Look, it's purple. And I used my heating pad when I was in Pennsylvania. I haven't used it since Pennsylvania, so um, that just tells you how well I'm handling the cold because I don't really need it. And we park in public spaces at night, so when I get up, I get right into the driver's seat and I start the car. I turn the engine on and blast the heat until I get back to the beach. And sometimes I'll let it run a little bit for two reasons. I have no heating vents back here. This is a cargo van, so there's no heating vents or air conditioning vents in the back. It's only in the front, so I have to let the heat run a while before it warms up in the back. I And the same with the AC. I've got to let it run and cool off. But in terms of getting warm at night, there have been a couple nights where I've had to sleep with my fans on. So that part has been fine. And so it's January. It's wintertime in the United States. So this is cold season, and when I was here last January, it was a little bit chilly on the beach. It's quite windy. So, you have to be prepared for that. It's windiest most by the water. So that's why we get a little chilly here. I'm making breakfast. Here's my egg. I have a sausage patty. I make an egg sandwich with my sausage patties and my eggs. I don't use the bread, although I did find low carb sandwich thins, and they seem to be doing well and not elevating my blood sugar too much. Or at all, really. I'm staying within the normal range. And when I was home, my doctor had ordered, it was time for me to have some more blood tests to see what my blood sugars and everything are doing. So I have an appointment with her tomorrow, a video telemed appointment. So we're going to go over what's been going on with my blood work. But I'm happy to report that I am out of the diabetic range. I am out of the pre-diabetic range. My blood sugars have returned to normal range. And that is exciting. But I still have to watch my blood sugars because if I don't pay attention, it'll shoot right back up. So I have to make sure that I keep eating all the right foods and stuff like that. I don't eat processed foods if I can help it. There's a couple things that I eat, like I eat the low carb wraps, and I just started with the low carb sandwich thins. I use the Mission wraps, the Carb Balance, and I found, see if I can get it out of my pantry. And then Arnold makes this low carb wrap. I like to have hamburgers. I love hamburgers. So I had been chopping my burgers up and putting them in my salad and making it a hamburger salad. I put the pickles in there. I don't use the ketchup and mustard in a salad. Not crazy about that, but I'll just put my homemade oil and vinegar salad dressing on it, and it works fine. And I put my pickles in there because I love pickles and onions on my burger. But with these sandwich things, I can actually eat a burger like a burger occasionally. It's not something that I do. I don't use the breads, the low carb breads, the low carb wraps and stuff a lot. Just every, once or twice a week, maybe. It's not something that I eat a lot. It is processed food after all. So I really, really try to limit that. And I can't eat a lot of fruits because it raises my blood sugar, but berries are low on the glycemic index. So I usually will have strawberries and raspberries and blackberries. Here's a funny thing. I don't like blueberries. It's a superfood, and I don't like blueberries. I can never do the things the easy way, right? And in terms of superfoods, I don't like broccoli either, or cauliflower. So, I like a lot of green beans and spinach, and I'll eat asparagus. So I think I'm doing okay with my veggies most of the time, and I do eat a lot of salads. So that is helping me to keep my sugars low, um, and so things are going well, and we're doing. We haven't had much shenanigans in the last few days because it's been so windy here, and it makes it hard to sit out on the beach. You can see the sun is shining, which is fantastic. I love the sunshine, but with the wind by the water, it's just really hard to stay out there. So we've been inside the vans and doing things. I've been watching, streaming some videos on my phone and my tablet. I have my tablet too. So those things are going well. Can always make something nice and hot to drink. I have coffee. I have tea. Um, can't eat hot chocolate. Wish I could, but I can't. But coffee and tea work just fine, and they keep me warm. I think another processed food that I have, if I were home, I would make my own soup, but I did buy some soup. Um, it's not something that I would eat regularly, but it's just easier to do for me out here on the road because I don't have any kind of crock pot or instant pot like one of our friends uses that instant pot. I don't have the space for it really. Just the way my layout is, I don't really have space for such a big appliance. But I do love my mini dashes. I love, love, love my mini dashes. I have the griddle and the grill. I have a waffle maker, but I left it home. I don't really make waffles. Um, I bought it when I was making waffles. But when you try to do it low carb, you would have to use like almond flour, and it's not just add water kind of thing. You need all the ingredients. And so you would need the eggs and you would need the milk and, all of that. And I don't really drink milk, so I can't see carrying, and it would be almond milk. I like almond milk, but I don't drink it a lot. I probably should, right? But uh, I'm not going to carry it if I don't drink it like that. When I was home, I didn't drink it like that. And it would sit in the fridge. I'd forget about it like for months, and then I'd have to throw it out. But I don't really drink milk. So there's no reason to bring a waffle maker. I'm not making waffles. So that's a no-brainer. I'm not bringing stuff that I can't fit in the van easily. And so my mini dashes work just wonderfully for me. My mini dash griddle is not working properly. Usually when you plug it in, there's a little indicator light that comes on. It's very hot, so it's hard to show you. Let's see if I can show you like this. So the little indicator light comes on. This one is the griddle. So that's the pancake griddle one. And then this one is the grill. You can see it has the lines on it. So that makes I use that to make my sausages. And I had to get a new griddle. I ordered it from Amazon and had it delivered to an Amazon locker and picked it up yesterday. So today's the first day I'm using it. And they didn't have, the one I have, or the one I've had for a long time, was pink. They don't make it in purple. So, but I haven't been able to find another pink one. So I got the green, the mint green, and it kind of goes with the colors that I have in here. Like I said before, my colors that I use are like birthstone colors. So amethyst and aquamarine are my two birthstones. One is for February and one is for Pisces, because I'm Pisces. And so those are the two colors that I like, with, of course, the purple being my most favorite. I wasn't really a big fan of the greens, although I do like aqua and teal and stuff like that. Green is not a color that I would go to. It's not a go-to color for me. And I'm more likely to go for blue over green, and or even red, because blue and red make purple. So that's my deal. But we're on the beach this morning, and we're trying to check out to see how the wind is going to be today. It's a bit windy, so we're all still inside our vans. It's early, so, I'm sure, Laura's probably making breakfast, the same as me. And, of course, Lulu rises before the sun, so she's probably already had her breakfast. She could be taking a snooze right now, for all we know. And so, yeah, it's been nice. We've been here maybe a week ish. So there will be more. Meetups are coming. There's a meetup. Lulu's meetup is on Sunday. And I see that a lot of the butterflies are having butterfly tracks, the butterfly tribe. They are having meetups around the area as well. So there's a lot of folks out here. So, if it's something that you want to do, I'm sure that you can find a meetup to go to, especially if you look at butterfly tracks. There's people that host meetups from the butterfly website or Facebook group all the time. And I have yet to go to a butterfly meetup. That was actually the first Facebook group that I joined, was the Butterfly Tribe Women Who Camp on Facebook. And at the time that I joined, there wasn't any meetups in my general area. It was before I, got the notion to travel distances. And, I decided, oh, well, shoot, I'm retired. I can go wherever I want, whenever I want. I don't really have any like real schedules. And my doctor's appointments are, over the phone, they're video calls. So that that's very helpful for me. So I can go anywhere. And like I said, I have a video call with my doctor tomorrow that I will do. It depends on what time I can't remember what time. I'll have to look it up, but I'll probably be on the beach if it's not too windy. So it's a completely doable lifestyle. It really, really is. So if it's something you're thinking about doing, go ahead and do it. And then there's my breakfast. I have 2 sausage patties and 2 egg rounds that I made in my mini dashes. And I use my Bluetti AC 180 to power them, along with my coffee maker. And it doesn't drain it, because the dashes use about 300 watts a piece. My biggest power draw is my coffee maker, which uses 700 watts. But it only runs for like 3 minutes, so I'm not draining my power. And in addition to that, I can power back up with my DC-DC charger from Bluetti, the Charger 1. That thing is fantastic. I have not had to pull my solar panels out this whole time so far. Now, I'm going to be going to some meetups, and I won't be, driving. You can turn the car on and run the engine, and it will turn on the Charger 1, and it will power up. And I've done that a couple of times when I have been in places where I can't pull my panels out. But when I go to the meetups, I'll probably use the panels then. But for now, when I travel from the beach to where we park at night, the charger charges up. Now, here's the thing. The red lights in Florida are so long that I can charge, I can go from like 60% to about 85% just getting to my parking spot overnight. And I don't use really any power except for the fridge overnight. And since it's been chilly, the fridge has been extremely efficient. So I don't really have a power drain overnight. And so then when I start the car to come back to the beach in the morning, I get all the way up to like 99%. So I haven't had any problems with my DC to DC charger. I haven't had any issues with keeping power. And, I don't use my heating pad overnight. I'm perfectly fine with my wool socks and my wool blanket. Put a hat on, and I'm good to go for the night. So I don't need to use a power source overnight for anything. And so it's been great. It's been a wonderful trip so far. And we're just at the beginning, so there's a whole lot of shenanigans to get into. And the weather can only get warm, so once it warms up here, we're thinking the end of January, starting in February, will probably warm up. And, and then we'll be out in the sand, tracking sand in and out of our vans. Total pain. But I have a vacuum, so I'm going to try to keep as much sand out of here as I possibly can. Now, if you guys are going to the Lulu's Way winter meetup in January, make sure that you are prepared for chilly weather. It gets chilly overnight, so you want to be able to have enough blankets. You want to have warm clothes, and just make sure that you're set for that, because we don't want you to have a miserable time. The sun shines here during the day, and if the forecast is right that it's going to be in the 60s, it's going to be wonderful. The sun is very, very hot here. So when we're out in the sun, even when it's 55 out here, it's fantastic. Once the wind comes down, if we can get the wind to calm a little bit, I mean, like we have any choice. But when the winds are mild and it's only in the 50s, if that sun is shining, it's perfectly hot. It's perfectly hot. So we don't pull the canopy out, not in January. Probably mid to late February, we're going to want the canopy, and we'll do that then. But right now, everything's fine. We're doing just fine. The temperature has been chilly, but we are managing it, and this is a blast. I talked to my daughter back home, and she said the snow's just coming down. I get messages from my grandson's school. I'm one of the emergency contacts that my daughter has listed. So my grandson's school sends me messages. And so I get notifications of the school closings and stuff like that. And they've had a couple. They had one yesterday. So they were closing. They were not doing any after school activities. So that's a big deal for the school district. The city school district to even close in the first place is a big deal, because, we know how to handle the snow. We're prepared. We're equipped for it. So we have lots of snow plows and salt and all that kind of stuff. Salt doesn't work in the cold, though. If it gets below freezing, the salt's not going to work. So when it's heavy snow, that lake effect snow comes and just dumps all over us. So when it gets bad like that, then they do close the schools. So they've had 2 or 3 of these school closings since I left home, which is a lot. That is a lot for the city school district to do that, especially this early in the season, because we still have February and March to go through. February, especially, lots and lots of snow dumps coming in February. Typically, it slows down in March, but we had a blizzard. We've had some blizzards in March that have completely shut down, getting 3 feet of snow, and like overnight. Well, maybe in a weekend, but that's a lot of snow to get in a short amount of time. So that has happened in March. uh, comes in like a lion, like they say. So we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do some meetups. We're gonna stay warm, and just enjoy ourselves and make the best time that we can while we're out here doing our van life. If you're going to the meetup, I'm looking forward to seeing you there. So you guys take care, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.